The Mystery of Roanoke, the Lost Colony. Once upon a time, over 400 years ago in the late 16th century, brave English explorers set sail across the vast and treacherous Atlantic Ocean. Their hearts were filled with hope, their eyes fixed on the horizon, dreaming of a new world where they could build homes, create a community, and establish a life far from the crowded streets of England. These adventurers were bound for a distant land that lay on the edge of what we now call North America. Little did they know, their fate would become one of history's greatest mysteries. This is the story of the Roanoke Colony, also known as the Lost Colony, and the mysterious disappearance that has puzzled people for centuries. In 1587, after many failed attempts, a group of 115 settlers, men, women, and children, arrived on the shores of Roanoke Island. This island, nestled in what is now North Carolina, was chosen by Sir Walter Raleigh, who had been given permission by Queen Elizabeth I to establish an English colony in the New World. Leading these settlers was a man named John White, an experienced explorer and cartographer. Among the settlers were his daughter, Eleanor Dare, and her husband Ananias. Not long after their arrival, Eleanor gave birth to a daughter, the first English child born in the New World. They named her Virginia Dare. The settlers, though weary from their long journey, were full of optimism. They began to build homes, plant crops, and establish friendly relations with some of the local Native American tribes. But life on Roanoke was not easy. The island's soil was sandy and not suited for growing food. The settlers quickly realized that they would need more supplies to survive, so they turned to their leader, John White, to return to England for help. In late 1587, John White set sail back to England, leaving behind his family and the entire colony with a promise to return with food, tools, and more settlers. The voyage back was rough, but White made it safely. However, upon his arrival, he discovered that England was embroiled in the Anglo-Spanish War. Queen Elizabeth had ordered that all available ships be used in defense against the powerful Spanish Armada. John White's heart sank. He pleaded for a ship to return to Roanoke, but the war made it impossible. Days turned into months, and months turned into years. For 3 long years, White waited in agony, knowing that his daughter, granddaughter, and the settlers were struggling to survive in the distant New World. Finally, in 1590, the war subsided enough for White to secure a ship and crew. He eagerly set sail back to Roanoke, his heart filled with hope for a joyous reunion. When White's ship reached Roanoke Island, something felt wrong immediately. As the ship neared the shore, there were no signs of life. No one came to greet them, and the settlement that had once been bustling with activity was eerily silent. The settlers' homes had been dismantled, and the fort was abandoned. John White and his men searched the area desperately, calling out the names of the colonists. His thoughts turned to his daughter, Eleanor, and little Virginia Dare. What had happened here? Where was everyone? White then stumbled upon a mysterious clue. Carved into the post of the settlement's palisade were the letters CROATOAN. Nearby, on a tree, 3 more letters were etched, Crow. White's heart leapt with hope. The word CROATOAN was the name of a nearby island, home to a Native American tribe with whom the settlers had once been friendly. Could it be? Had the settlers moved to CROATOAN Island hoping for safety or more food? With a surge of hope, White prepared to sail to the island immediately. But as fate would have it, a fierce storm blew in, forcing his ship to retreat. The weather worsened, and after days of struggle, White's ship was forced to abandon the search. John White never saw his daughter, his granddaughter, or any of the settlers again. The Roanoke colony had vanished. For years, people have speculated and theorized about what could have happened to the settlers. No bodies were ever found, and there were no signs of violence or a struggle. It was as if they had disappeared into thin air. Some believe the settlers may have tried to escape starvation by moving inland or to another location. The theory that they integrated with the friendly CROATOAN tribe is one of the most popular. Local legends among Native American tribes tell of pale-skinned people who joined their communities. Others think something more sinister happened. Did the Spanish, who were England's enemies at the time, destroy the colony? Or perhaps a powerful hurricane swept through the area, washing away their settlement and leaving no trace. The possibility of disease or famine wiping them out has also been considered. Archaeologists have spent centuries searching for clues. Occasionally, fragments are found, pieces of pottery, tools, and weapons, but nothing that definitively solves the mystery. In fact, in recent years, evidence has emerged that suggests the settlers may have split up, with some moving northward and others seeking shelter with native tribes. The lost colony of Roanoke remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. What happened to Virginia Dare, Eleanor Dare, and the others who vanished remains unknown. Their fate is shrouded in the mists of time, leaving behind only questions and possibilities. Yet, even though they disappeared, their legacy continues to inspire. Roanoke stands as a testament to the dangers and challenges of exploration in the early days of colonization. It reminds us of the strength and courage of those who sought to create a new life in a wild and unknown land. As we think about Roanoke, we are left with one haunting question. Will we ever truly know what happened to the lost colony? Perhaps the answer lies buried somewhere on Roanoke Island or in the stories passed down through generations. Until then, the mystery endures, waiting to be uncovered.